led the Bruins to a 34-2 record and their first Final Four. Betts, a 6'7 junior from Centennial, Colorado, ranks 5th in the nation in block shots. She has 18 in the Bruins' last 5 games. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and for over 20 years, Parkside Economic Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You did it again. You a genius. Imagine that. Yeah. You put 3 a.m. on the slap and me on the raps. Ain't got it complicated, keep it simple as that. So target on you when you young, rich, and you black. Ain't got a lie to kick it, I'ma get you with facts. Keep it 100, is you feeling me? I know the energy is bumping, what's it finna be? I heard the enemy go coming from my winning streak. And cocaine, a young hyena, word to spit a P. Location's everything. In prime real estate, the city in my backyard. With niggas starting new life just to act hard. One to loan off other people credit, bro, that's tax fraud. Unless the pin code, I'm revoking niggas black cards. And pocket checking too, cause I need all that. For all the little homies trying to get they ball back. And part-time niggas treated like a fallback. If you ain't building, you destroying where your heart at. Like where you from, what's your name, where your bars at? Like where your scars, where your stories from the combat? Like redefine printing letters of them contracts. While I'm sagging, if I ain't the realest, what you call that? Small flex, Miles took the lead. No contest, niggas got their arms stretched when we hit the scene. I used to pray that we fell off, please. A locksmith here to sell y'all keys. Get in with me, Like what's worse, being trapped in a cage or never spreading your wings? You trapped in a maze. And Pop showed me Nas lost tapes back in the days, and that's when he was telling me the rap was a phase.
KBLA Talk 1580. Miles, you should outro that song. Yeah.
That's Energy off the new project called Imagine That. You can go get that on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Tidal, or you can buy it from the artist. Go to bandcamp.com or even.biz. That's the place you need to start doing is D2C, direct to consumer, buying the art from the artist. Yeah, it's called Energy.
And who's the artist on that song?
What now?
Who's the artist on that song?
That's me, Miles Low, the one and only. You can't call me. At Miles Low Music, MilesLowMusic.com. Yeah.
Yes.
Hip-hop. Hip-hop's alive and well, y'all, I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's the latest one from Miles Low. I love that direct-to-consumer, though. I think, that's kind of harkens back to what Prince was talking about all those years ago. Why do we need the middleman?
Yeah. And, you want to start owning the art and stop just leasing it from these companies, because you're seeing now at any time these companies and industries can go down, so...
Yeah, that's interesting. My sister, who's a techie, was talking about how it used to be you would buy the software. You would buy Microsoft Word or you would buy Final Cut Pro, and then you would own it. Now you rent it, and the minute you stop renting it, you don't have it anymore. You can't, go up in the mountains in the Himalayas and work on your own Microsoft Word. And I think that's the model everything's going to, right, with streaming, with software. And so I think that's an interesting perspective from you as an artist. Buy the art. Do we go and lease paintings? I don't think so.
They said there's gonna come a time where you'll own nothing and be happy with it. Don't let that time be now, please.
The rent-a-center of music.
Right. The thing is too, when they blocked TikTok also, ByteDance, the company, also owns CapCut. CapCut is an editing app that a lot of creatives use to do their content with. So, when that went away, you saw the people were terrified and panicking, not knowing how they're going to even make their content going forward. So, yeah.
Well, and it's the same thing when we build our empires on these platforms, YouTube and Instagram and yes, TikTok, because we don't even have direct contact with our fans. If they take you off of YouTube or ban you from TikTok or Facebook, how do I reach my people? I don't have a mailing list. We used to have mailing lists. So I think cautionary tale, especially in these times right now. But anyway, at Miles Low Music, congratulations on another great and successful project. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. We'll catch you up on some headlines and hot topics. And we are taking your phone calls, national, international, and beyond, and of course, local as well. Let's go to Frank, calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
What's
Peace
on
and
your mind
blessings
today?
To you first and
Thank
foremost.
you.
Yes. I need to get back on track. First of all, Miles has bars. So,
Yes.
Respect to him and salute.
Yeah, he does.
I got on his page. I checked him out. Yeah. So, you guys talked about a lot of issues that we're dealing with. I'll go first to the Second Amendment. So the Second Amendment, as far as how I see it, Trump is following he's following the agenda that's already been set with the Klan. The Klan wants to get the Constitution as it was in the framers' work. So the original Constitution and how it was laid down. So how everybody can, go back into history and see how that was formulated. That is what they're trying to accomplish as a nationalist agenda.
So, if they revoked our citizenship through the 14th Amendment and or we were 3/5 of a person, even if they expand gun rights under the Second Amendment, it doesn't help us. That follows.
Yes. Correct. And you see where I'm going with it. It goes into foreign policy as well. So also talking about the framework of society, they're talking about, the issues they had with Obama.
What you mean aside from him being black? You mean aside from him being black?
Yeah.
Aside from that main problem.
Right. But the naturalization process or the process of going over borders and visual lines, it's all about maintaining the domestic product right now and trying to get the GPU up for us here. And things on that nature.
When you're talking about the tariffs, is that what you're referring to when you say?
Yes.
But is that going to work? If it's
all this is trash.
If it works,
all of this is
amazing.
Going
I would love to be wrong and for him to be right. Suddenly, there's manufacturing plants everywhere, and jobs are back, and America's really great, but making everything more expensive for the regular folks. I don't know. Maybe you are a billionaire. I'm not. Regular folks like you and me. And then, while the billionaires get, party favors, as I call them, in the form of these tax cuts, I don't see how that really strengthens our domestic economic outlook. It looks like
crash.
Inflation. It looks like recession.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly, Dominique. They want it to crash.
You think
wants to be the new FDR?
You think they want it to crash? You think that he can rescue us?
Yes.
So he can do all that in 4 years? Well, no, he wants a third term, so 8 years.
Less.
Yeah. Well,
you can crash and burn in less.
You can crash and burn, but I'm talking about resurrecting. You can crash and burn in 4 years.
No, that's never going. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No, that's the end. But we're not going to let it happen, and he's almost 1,000 years old. He's not going to last.
That was my point. And I know it sounds mean, but the guy lives on fast food burgers and Diet Coke and now Ozempic. So I'm not worried about a third term, but I'm
Exactly.
I know that sounds mean, but I'm not. And
No,
because
you're
I
right.
think even if he's still around, he's not going to be in any shape to be
No.
governing
He's gonna be
anything.
worse than Biden. Excuse me, but yeah.
Real talk. And
exactly,
you know, and so what the concern is really the next 24 months, really the next 6 months, because they've broken a lot of stuff. And even if the courts come back and say you got to fix it, it may not be fixable, or if it is fixable, they may not comply, or if they do comply, it might not work.
Right.
You know,
Well, you know, he only has a limited time left on this earth, so he's trying to do everything and anything he can right now. It's a speed up process.
well, and you know, I've heard others say, and I do believe this, that part of this break everything philosophy is because they want to privatize it. So break all the
Yes.
systems and privatize Social Security, privatize
Everything.
all of the energy infrastructure, the schools, so they can make
Yes.
trillions of dollars in profits. But it's
Yes.
clear that that won't benefit us because everything will be more expensive and less responsive, probably lower quality. You want
Yes.
the Trump school? We saw how that went. Y'all remember the university? You want the Musk, public infrastructure for energy and
Right.
water systems? I don't think so. Remember the exploding
Right.
Teslas? Actually still happening now.
But that's why our kids got to learn engineering. You know, the Indian, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Asians, they're all into engineering. Their kids know how to put stuff together. You know, and
Yeah.
it's all around us, free energy all around us. It's in the trees, the water, the ground, the air.
That is
Energy
true.
all through the earth.
That is true, but
the true testament.
but you still need infrastructure to deliver said energy.
Yes.
And that's where, the privatization becomes a problem. And
Yes.
and so the break it, he'd be like a privatization FDR. He wouldn't be like, let's make a safety net. Let's make,
Right.
build institutions like Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security that can keep people from dying like dogs in the streets. Not that.
Yeah.
It's privatize it so we can actually hyper profit off the poor. That is the definition of predatory capitalism plus oligarchy with the side order of fascism.
Yes. Hey, and we know it through history, a lot of these motherfuckers want, excuse my language, a lot of these people want to sit on their butt
He's too used to podcasts
and not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have the AI, what's going to be the new slave.
Yeah, I get that. But I also, I was heartened when I read, Frank, that AI will take a lot of jobs, but just like the internet took a lot of jobs, it also created a lot of jobs, right? There was no such
the
thing
AI
as
will be with us.
AI will also create jobs just as much
Yes.
as it will eliminate jobs. It's going to create jobs that people know how to use it and work it. There were no such things as influencers or social media managers or, internet data analysts. All those jobs came into being because of the internet, even as certain research jobs and other things that were taken over by the internet. So I think there's,
Right.
there's a good and a bad side to it. I just feel like we are going to have to find a way to make the law keep up with the technology, which so far it has not done.
Right. And I think I'm with you. I don't think nothing can stop us. I think you're doing the Lord's work as well, I mean, I know you're not super religious. I'm very spiritual though, and this is for
Same.
the ancestors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is Ashe all day. It's
I love
for
that.
them.
Ashe all day. Ashe, of course, means the blessings, life force, and so it is. Yes. Ashe all day. I do believe that we're unstoppable. I do believe that you can be in peril and
Yes.
be unstoppable at the same time. And it's important to recognize the peril. Otherwise you'll just, perish. You don't.
Exactly.
There's a hole. You don't just walk into it and go, well, I'm unstoppable. I can walk through the hole. No, you have to either cover that bad boy up, go around it, or build a bridge.
Yes. Yeah, no one's oblivious. You have to go through the storm and weather it and come out good, and then teach others the process so they can go ahead and through the future and build on that and be better than we did it. So, I'm in an investment process of, anything that's going backwards, I'm not with. I'm time traveling forward.
Yep, forward ever, backward never, in the words of the great Kwame Nkrumah. Frank, thank you for your call. Fun to talk to you.
Peace and love.
Peace and love back at you. 800-920-1580. That's what Frank said to his phone, and you can do the same. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Before the fire, Altadena was a real-life Wakanda. A thriving black oasis just 15 miles from downtown Los Angeles. 80% black residents were homeowners, building intergenerational wealth against the odds. It was a hub of black-owned businesses, churches, and cultural institutions. It stood as a symbol of black resilience and economic independence. Then, in a matter of hours, it was gone. The fire tore through homes, swallowed businesses, and left behind a painful void. But was it just an unstoppable act of nature, or was negligence involved? Did officials ignore early warning signs? Were the response efforts delayed or insufficient? What role, if any, did corporate or government failures play? Survivors are demanding answers. Don't miss our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall. The Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting. On Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center, 1081 North Fair Oaks in Pasadena. Join Dominique DiPrima, Nee Cordelai Corte, James Farr, Tavis Smiley, and a panel of survivors, community leaders, and experts as we commemorate Day 100 since the wildfires flared up. And we discuss where we go from here. It's KBLA's Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting Town Hall. Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center in Pasadena. Light refreshments to follow. Admission is free, but sign-up is required at our KBLA1580.com website. This is a community call to action brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and Quinn Emanuel Trial Lawyers. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
It does, and I'm so glad you're here with me. 800-920-1580. That is the number. You heard Don Amici. We are doing a town hall for 100 days in to the recovery from the Eaton fires. And we will be out in Pasadena. I hope you'll join us. Looking forward to that. We're going to have a great panel and kind of get you up to date on what's happening, what we need to do to make sure that we are standing with Altadena as folks rebuild and figure out how to reinvent their lives and their community. Really sad today, the death toll we find out from that fire, the Eaton Canyon Altadena fire, is now at 18 because they found some human remains. That was confirmed. This was a special operation response team. They were called to investigate some remains found up in the Boston Street up there, and they haven't identified the actual person. It may take some time, according to the medical examiner, but it's definitely a human victim of the Eaton Canyon fire, which now means when you count Palisades and Altadena, we're at 30, death toll 30 from that fire. 14,000 acres, 9,400 structures. We're tracking it. We're going to keep tracking it. And so we've started a whole show around it. James Farr on Saturday mornings after Black Lives Matter LA's This Is Not a Drill. So condolences to the family of whoever that person is. And, we stand with you, Altadena. We're going to keep standing with you. We ain't carpetbaggers. We live around here and definitely care about our community. So reportedly, the president is now saying to his close circle that Elon Musk is going to be, tapping out, stepping back within weeks, that he loves what Musk has done. He's still his BFF. He still gave him $250 million for the campaign and such. But he's saying that he, according to Politico and a number of other fairly credible publications, he's going to be bouncing. This comes as Tesla stock takes a nosedive, a 13% reduction in deliveries of Teslas, and the public protesting. Surely his board of directors and his shareholders and his many companies have to be concerned that their highly visible public-facing CEO is now one of the most hated people in the world, and how that could affect the Boring Company and Tesla and SpaceX and Neuralink and all of his other ventures. They're saying he will retain an informal role, meaning he'll still have the president's ear, and who knows what that means, but he's going to be less prominent. In many cases, the damage is done, but that's interesting. It's another sign that the administration is not as impervious as they like to seem. They're not bulletproof. Nor is Elon, who wants their company to tank. He was saying, "Oh well, I've lost a lot of money doing this," and you've made a lot of money doing it. You've set yourself up to avoid all of these investigations and accountability, fines and such. But when it gets to the point where you're seeing entire companies tanking, then when you actually start losing money, then you're ready to bounce. Mayor Eric Adams, surprise, surprise, says he's no longer a Democrat. What? I didn't see that coming. Not after Trump got him out of his corruption charges. He says when he runs for re-election, he'll run as an independent. Oh, just go all the way, Mr. Adams. Just go all the way and declare what you really are, which is a Republican. And by the way, I said that when he was running too. The man is a former cop, and I put former in air quotes because he moves like law enforcement. And if it walks like a cop, and it, anyway. So he's now saying he's going to be an independent. And that also goes to my theory, not to say I told you so, but y'all know that I believe that many people who say they are independents or decline to state are actually Republicans who don't want to cop to it for whatever reason. And certainly this is a person that seems to fall into that category. Why not just go full MAGA? Oh, yeah, because he's in New York City and he probably wouldn't win. Sound familiar? Scary, scary, scary. That Myanmar quake, that 7.7 magnitude earthquake. Now they're at 3,085 people dead. That's a lot of folks in one quake. Makes me want to check my earthquake kit. Hope you're checking yours. Well, now it's a go bag / earthquake kit, and it's on wheels, and it's big and ginormous, because the fires really got me thinking my little earthquake go bag is not ready for prime time. 4,700 people injured, 350 missing. And I always say that in other countries, the death toll is going to be higher because they don't have their building codes are not as stringent. Many times the buildings won't be as earthquake proof. But that said, we got a whole bunch here that are not at all not even close to earthquake proof. This is concerning. The former president of Costa Rica, his name is Oscar Arias or Oscar Arias, with the English accent here. They've taken his visa. Well, this guy's a Nobel laureate. He said he got his visa revoked just weeks after criticizing the president and comparing him to a Roman Empire. He's also saying maybe it has something to do with his relationship with China, but he had a press conference in Costa Rica, and he said he had no idea the official reason for the cancellation. They just sent him an email, a few sentences saying, "You no longer have a visa." Food for thought. So far, from what I can tell, they haven't revoked any citizenship, and I don't know if you can revoke citizenship, but certainly you can revoke people's freedom to move around. I was reading this piece about, and I was watching some stuff on the internet about what you should do if you're an activist or an immigrant, a visa holder, a student visa holder, and you've protested. They're saying write a letter to your attorney or a trusted friend who knows how to reach an attorney that says, "I have been detained by either ICE or Homeland Security or other authorities. Please look for me," or whatever. Because many times no one's notified, you're just taken into custody. And so that if you are detained, you can hand it to a bystander. It's a self-addressed stamped envelope. You can hand it to a bystander and ask them to put it into a mailbox so that you don't disappear without a trace. And there are a number of sites, lawyers who focus on human rights or constitutional rights, who are putting out these guides about what to do if you're an activist or if you're a visa holder, green card holder, and you're concerned that you might get snatched up. I don't mean to scare you guys, but we don't want to be walking around like do and acting like we don't know, and then get got. All right, we got news, traffic, and sports. Then call me. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. The death toll stands at least 3 as a result of the tornado outbreak in the south central U.S. Officials say all 3 deaths were reported in Tennessee. Black faith leader Reverend Matthew Watts of Charleston testified that eliminating DEI programs in West Virginia is unnecessary and counterproductive, arguing the state lacks robust DEI initiatives, and Senate Bill 474 could make some feel unwelcome. Actor John Boyega criticized Star Wars for its lack of diversity, calling it the whitest elite space, and said he's frustrated with the franchise's treatment of non-white actors. He also spoke on the limited roles given to black actors during the documentary, #1 on the call sheet, Black Leading Men in Hollywood. And a black woman, Demetria Spencer, was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia for making a false 911 call that led to rapper Young Scooter's death. She was charged with transmitting a false public alarm after revealing her actions on Instagram Live. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Since the dawn of baseball, countless players have heard the call of destiny. Witness the heroes of the game in ballparks nationwide. Get your tickets today at MLB.com/tickets. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready?
Drop it!
Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Is this the time?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man.
Los Angeles was the epicenter of women's college basketball this season, and the awards are rolling in. USC star Juju Watkins was voted the Naismith Player of the Year by a national panel of coaches and media. UCLA coach Corey Close is the Naismith Coach of the Year, and UCLA center Lauren Betts was voted Defensive Player of the Year. Watkins is a finalist for the Wooden Award, which also goes to the nation's top college basketball player. The sophomore from Compton led USC to a 30-3 season before suffering a knee injury in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Watkins finished the season averaging 23.9 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. Close, in her 14th season at UCLA, led the Bruins to a 34-2 record and their first Final Four. Betts, a 6'7 junior from Centennial, Colorado, ranks 5th in the nation in block shots. She has 18 in the Bruins' last 5 games. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, I'm Dominique DiPrima, and it's almost time to celebrate KBLA's 4th anniversary, coming up Juneteenth 2025. We'll be marking the achievement with 4 key community events, including a special symposium, luncheon, and brain trust hosted by me entitled The State of Black Women in Los Angeles. Keep it locked here for details on how to join us for this groundbreaking symposium examining the unique challenges, triumphs, and contributions of Black women in Los Angeles in the areas of education, healthcare, community leadership, cultural and political contributions. This public convocation will provide a critical forum to address the specific social, economic, and political realities facing Black women in LA today. We'll go live with a radio broadcast and YouTube live stream, a public discussion, and a private dialogue with some of LA's most impactful women. It's an affirmation of Black women standing at the intersection of race and gender in times of adversity while demonstrating remarkable resilience and leadership. We will listen and we will speak out and be heard, all in service of finding opportunities and solutions. Please plan to join us in celebrating our 4th anniversary by amplifying the voices of Black women. For more on our symposium and 4 events celebrating 4 years on the air, simply stay tuned or keep an eye on KBLA1580.com and help make this Juneteenth more jubilant with all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, you are, and we are grateful for that. Please tell a friend about KBLA Talk 1580. That's our strength, right? That's our strength, the grassroots, the what we used to call the hood grapevine. 800-920-1580. By the way, if you want to speak. Tony Wash asked, where can seniors get emergency kit checklists? Because I was talking about the go bags. And I do think for seniors, putting it in a rolling bag instead of a shoulder bag is a great idea at this point, because you don't know, if you're walking, or you don't want to have to, carry something heavy, and you want to be able to bring enough stuff. Okay, so there's a great one on the Office of Emergency Management at UC Berkeley. They have a list, a go bag kit. LA County has a list. And there's also one at ready.gov/kit. Ready.gov/kit. And it gives you a checklist of what you would need for basic disaster supplies. There's a bunch of them on the internet, but that was one that I found to be quite good, the ready.gov/kit. Let's go to Paul calling us from LA. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Dominique. How you doing today?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind today?
You know, I have to close up my portfolio after seeing this bloodbath that we've experienced with our money, basically, including our 401ks.
You mean literally close up your portfolio, your stocks and such?
Everything.
Really?
You know what's interesting about what's transpiring is why they like Donald Trump is, in my opinion, is because he's a distraction. So my thing was, why, the tariffs are a whole other issue itself because that's real serious. But what else are they doing? We're not talking about the signal chat anymore, about that national security that happened. We're not even talking about that anymore. And then we're not talking about how the Senate Republicans just basically released their blueprint for their budget. And within there, for people that don't know, is yes, there's going to be cuts to Social Security and to Medicare, so that's coming. And then also they want to increase the actual military budget by $180 billion.
Which just to be clear, Paul, Trump said he was going to cut it in half. Remember that?
Right.
He was going to cut the military budget in half. And they've already started cutting Social Security because they're cutting staff and office hours and stuff like that. So it's already started.
Right. And the people ask, well, why would they do something like this? Why are they tanking everything?
Right.
Remember, 10 of the last 11 recessions have started under Republican administrations. And here's the craziest part about it, because that's going to be, I hate to say that's going to be 11 or 12, but check this out. The last recession we had, people forget, happened under what administration? Donald Trump's administration, because of how they bungled COVID. So it doesn't surprise me. Well, why would they do that and tank everything? Because while people are unable to not even just spend money and be consumers and spend, the richest of the rich, his cabinet is made of, and his oligarchs basically are made of the richest people, basically. So they're going to swoop in, and everything resource-wise basically becomes Costco to them because they get to buy because they have the cash to do it.
That's hilarious, Paul. So all of America is now Costco for billionaires.
But you know why?
Laughing to keep from crying, by the way.
Oh no, we was doing that yesterday. We were doing all that yesterday. But the only reason I know that is because repeatedly within my lifetime they repeatedly have done this, and the characters, the bad characters, were never held accountable for doing it. So in reality, I know that report came out that he's going to talk to Musk about stepping aside. Man, those two are stuck at the hip. He's invested so much money alongside of him that he will never, ever truly go away. And from Musk's standpoint, while he'll never go away, is because he's broken so many laws that if another administration came in, he would be under a jail. So
not to mention all of the regulatory problems and fines and all of these lawsuits against him that went away, including massive discrimination, safety violations, and all kinds of other things. Okay, I'll give you the hip. I might have said they were attached somewhere else, but I think you're right. He's never going away, and he's always going to have the president's ear.
Right, because remember, after that Tesla infomercial, he invested another we say invested, but another $100 billion went to that PAC. But anyway, I hear a lot, sometimes people say, well, what are we doing? My response to people that say that is, anybody that asks that question, you're already behind the race. We have to start everything local. You need to be known in your local community. Know your neighbors. Show up to your council meetings. Go to the school board meetings. Be the leader within. Leaders are grown within. We need to stop looking at these celebrities to be leaders and speaking for our community. And the 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg thing, that's a whole nother issue. I'm not going to even get into that. However, we need to be building from the inside out. not looking from the outside in. And I implore people that say that, I challenge you, get out there yourself and do the work. Because I promise you, there are a lot of us that are really doing it out here, not just for ourselves and our families, but also for our children.
Do you think, Paul, that, and I agree with that 100%, do you think that the distancing, the public distancing of Musk, we know he's going to have the bat phone, but do you think it's because of Wisconsin and the loss and the fact that, Dems were able to keep the Wisconsin Supreme Court because one of the reasons was that the playbook was attack Musk, not attack Trump?
You know that the difference with a demigod, that's basically what he is. He draws, when he's on the top of the ticket, he draws the people that normally don't vote. There were a lot of people that go vote, that are
what I call the unlikely voters. Obama pulled out the unlikely voters, and particularly the first time, the people that have to be inspired, and they have to be inspired in a big way
because they don't understand that he's a con artist. He is the establishment.
Yeah,
he is the establishment. So what's going to happen, Dominique, is. And I implore all my people, because we're in group text sending each other pictures of us sitting down, sipping tea, playing basketball while everything else is on fire. Because I was one of the 80% and you were one of the 92% that warned y'all this was going to happen. So
I thought it was 85.
Their doorstep, because it's going to happen. And when they get outside with pitchforks, we sit back and we focus on us. If there's anything that we need to ever learn from this, again, is it's cool being around people, but we first have to start from within what we got going on, going out, because we should never drop our guard again that essentially left us in this position.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Paul. I mean, that's the definition of circle your wagons, and it's circle your wagons time. They act locally, think globally time. Organize your block, your go bag, your community, and county, state, in that order. I do agree with that. But you're right. The tariffs are serious business, and maybe the guy will back off. Maybe it's all theater. I don't know. But right now, the world is taking it seriously, and they're hitting back. And the problem is, Trump's hitting them. They're hitting Trump. But the only people taking the punches are us, the consumers,
exactly.
The regular people. They're, it's Godzilla versus Mothra. But their strikes hit the middle class, the working class, the homeless, the unresourced, the elderly.
Dominique, everything is relationships. And what people don't understand, the damage that has occurred is not going to be fixed within the next potential administration. We trade with each other. There was a global economy going on. He just wrecked that. And not only is he going to hurt, he's going to hurt a lot of the upper class too, because a lot of those people for their small businesses were outsourcing their materials. There's no such thing as we're going to bring all jobs back here or we're going to do autos directly here because we don't have the infrastructure for it. We're getting parts from other parts of the country. We're getting clothing
other
from
parts
other
of the world too, yeah. Yeah.
So
and not only that, I mean, to be real about it, and I know folks don't want to hear this, the labor situation, you're deporting all these folks. Little kids are not going to be making cars, and all of those people that you're deporting are also consumers. So this is the thing that always baffles me about some of these big corporations. You want to squeeze the middle class and the working class by, crushing unions, refusing to raise the minimum wage, and you want to deport a big part of your workforce. And then who's going to buy your doggone product? There's not enough of you billionaires to sustain your companies. You've got to pay people enough to be able, living wages, to be able to buy your stupid products to begin with. And if you don't have consumers, you're right. At a certain point, you do hurt yourselves. And if the prices go too high, we see consumer confidence is already down. Folks are keeping their wallets in their purses, in their pockets. Already, even the rich are starting to hold off on purchases because we don't know where this bumpy train wreck roller coaster is headed. And by train wreck roller coaster, I mean the Trump economic, we'll call it a plan. It's a perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, Stephanie Mills. The BPC presents The Queens, 4 Legends, 1 Stage Tour. Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. The Queens, 4 Legends, 1 Stage. May 11th at Kia Forum. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.
Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit caspvolunteer.org. Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
You belong here. We're glad you're here, and you're welcome to speak here. This is a place where you have all access pass. You're a VIP at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So tariffs, and I've been mentioning since before the election and then after the election that once the tariffs hit, things are going to cost more. It's already starting to kick in, and the world is reacting. Pretty much everybody, the European Union, China, Japan, Germany, they've all weighed in and said, look, pretty much similar things. If this man really goes through with this, we are hitting back. Singapore saying they won't impose countermeasures. And Mexico kind of said the same thing, like we're not going to retaliate. But Canada, the United Kingdom, so get ready. I mean, unless he backs off again, which is not unthinkable, we are looking at everything costing more, which is never a good thing for consumers. Let's go to Juliet calling us from Watts. Good morning, Juliet.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, my family, and peace and happiness, and in memory of our righteous elders and our loved ones, especially my Molly Bell. Dominique, the 10-point program of the Black Panther Party, point 10, explains a lot. and maybe we can have a discussion. I have all the archives from Pacifica Radio, and they do fundraisers, and I have all.
No shouting out other radio stations on our little black-owned business here that's struggling and trying to build something over here.
Yeah, you have to pay to get them digitized, and it takes about 6 weeks for them to come.
Yeah,
but I have
no doubt. Well, no, I mean, I think but to your main point, Juliet, I think that looking at what power building organizations like the Black Panther Party specifically did, the roadmaps that they left behind, and many of those folks are still with us, is important. And it particularly right now, when I feel like there's going to be less access. I'm not kidding when I say I think that this administration will destroy the museum, for example, the African American History Museum in D.C., right? And
they can't destroy them archives, and it's so crazy. And also, Dominique, I want you guys to pray for my family. My cousin died in Corcoran March 9th, and we just buried him.
Oh my!
It's so cold, Dominique. It's his name is Freddie LaRue Martin. Freddie LaRue Martin. And I'm going to call Melina Saturday. It's so wrong, Dominique. And I just thank you guys for the airwaves, the righteous, truth, fact-based, evidence-based. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't change the fact-based, evidence-based truth of the past.
Yeah, I think I'm so sorry. I think it's just terrible the way folks are dying and getting killed in custody. Do you know what happened? Were you notified? How did you find out?
Well, they called the family, but it was we was working on getting the enhancements taken away. Because I work with Dorsey Nunn, with All of Us are None, and Susan Burton with A New Way of Life. And we were working on we've gotten LWAPs out. Life is without parole.
New Way of Life, for those not familiar, is an organization that helps people with reentry, people coming out of incarceration to get their lives back on track and keep them on track. It's devastating, and I'm sorry. I'm glad you called to say his name, Freddie LaRue Martin, and I'm looking forward to working with your family to help get whatever measure of justice is possible to get. You started off talking about the 10-point plan of the Black Panther Party. And point number 10, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. That's sentence one, but it's almost like you don't have to go anywhere from there when, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to another and to assume among the powers of the earth the equal and the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. A decent respect of opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. We want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. And we're clearly not there yet. Juliet, I appreciate your call, and I'm praying for your family, your loved one, and for justice.
In Northern Territory, Dominique.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
And the KBLA family.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, keep us posted, keep us in touch, and so we can support you in whatever actions you're going to take. All right, we're going to go to Jerry calling us from Beverly Hills. Hi, Jerry, representing the KBLA delegation in Beverly Hills. Somebody's got to do it. Good morning.
Good morning. I believe that punishment is a fifth of crime, and they're increasing sentences, I heard.
Yes, that's what Attorney Jaiye Person Lynn was talking about. For our newer KBLA delegates, they, may think, oh, Jerry's drinking or whatever. No, Jerry is managing Parkinson's disease, which is something my beloved mama had, and it has all kinds of impact on the body and speech and all kinds of things. So yes, sentences are going up, Jerry.
That's not good.
It's the return of the gang enhancements and gun enhancements, and it's the return of the insanely long prison sentence, and that's what y'all voted for when you voted for Nathan Hochman in Prop 36, and so it's the FAFO phase, as they say.
Now, the police chief, the LA police chief, McDonald, is he okay? What's his name?
What do you mean, is he okay? You mean, is he a good police chief?
The LA police chief.
Well, okay,
McDonald,
so Jim McDonald was appointed by Mayor Karen Bass.
Okay?
Well, I'm not quite sure what you mean by okay. He's kind of a traditional, old school LAPD chief. He was the chief of Long Beach. He was the sheriff and did not eliminate sheriff's gangs or even make any significant progress towards doing so. There are people who like McDonald because they say he's at least open about alternatives to incarceration. I think the jury's still out on that. But a lot of us were hoping that the mayor would appoint. She had the opportunity to appoint a black woman, Amada Tingarides, who was very well qualified, or Chief Arco, but she chose McDonald, and I think one of the reasons people say is because we have these big logistical events. We've got the Olympics, we've got the Super Bowl, the All-Star Game, the World Cup, all coming here. And I believe many believe the mayor felt that she wanted someone who could handle those kinds of logistical challenges. But you're right, B-Bell. He's a career cop and an old school one at that. And many of us were disappointed with that choice. Hopefully, when all of these huge public events come up, we will understand why that choice was made with some kind of stellar performance. But what wasn't my choice? Let me put it that way, Jerry from Beverly Hills. Jerry called me at 800-920-1580. You're invited to do the same. Next hour, we'll be talking with Kidi Owadu, the Conscious Rasta, joining me in studio. Let's talk food. Let's talk well-being. We've got to be at our best, our strongest, our sharpest right now. Let's do that. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. The death toll stands at least 3 as a result of the tornado outbreak in the south central U.S. Officials say all 3 deaths were reported in Tennessee. Black faith leader Reverend Matthew Watts of Charleston testified that eliminating DEI programs in West Virginia is unnecessary and counterproductive, arguing the state lacks robust DEI initiatives, and Senate Bill 474 could make some feel unwelcome. Actor John Boyega criticized Star Wars for its lack of diversity, calling it the whitest elite space, and said he's frustrated with the franchise's treatment of non-white actors. He also spoke on the limited roles given to black actors during the documentary, #1 on the call sheet, Black Leading Men in Hollywood. And a black woman, Demetria Spencer, was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia for making a false 911 call that led to rapper Young Scooter's death. She was charged with transmitting a false public alarm after revealing her actions on Instagram Live. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Since the dawn of baseball, countless players have heard the call of
Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Los Angeles was the epicenter of women's college basketball this season, and the awards are rolling